Yo, I'm Steve.
I'm Rogers.
This is the Florida Cracker Chronicles, episode 6.
Six.
Six. We're gonna touch on the art and job that is bouncers at bars.
Bouncing.
If you are one of those guys, I guess you find yourself like the size of a NFL tight end. I guess you just
Roadhouse.
yeah. Well, Patrick Swayze is God, but other than that, if you're the size of an NFL lineman or whatever, your probable natural like inclination is to become a bouncer.
A bouncer.
Unlike us, I have tried my hand at bouncing a couple times. Didn't end well. I have a couple stories on that. Might discuss. But yeah, once you join or start working for a bar and it goes late into the night, it's pretty common to have a bouncer on your staff or payroll that comes every so often, like the busy nights that you want them there, especially if like you go to like 2 a.m. I remember sometimes we'd have like nights where if it got too busy past like midnight, our manager or owner would be like, "Do you want bouncers that night?" Like, yeah. Like, why so? See that broken table over there? Like, it's better to have the backup and not need them than to not have backup.
Absolutely.
And someone decides to like slam someone on a table or use a table as a battering ram or throw projectiles at your bar windows.
It's like, that's just the worst. Like, when you're working, like, on a busy Friday night and then, like, somebody's throwing chairs, you're just like, that's the last thing you're worried about.
It's literally like...
It's funny to think about, like, later on, but in the moment...
In real time, though,
you're like
it's watching
seriously?
It's watching an adult have a temper tantrum, but like a drunken, stupor rage temper
tantrum.
You're
dealing with a whole bunch of other drunken adults who are having temper tantrums.
So you're doing your job, which is serving and talking to people like a normal human being, and then you have a guy that's like, or a woman that's like wigging out, causing a scene, and you have to like act like it's not happening because you have to ignore the child, obviously. But at the same time, you have to like suppress that escalating factor because it just builds. It's like a boiling pot. Yeah. Meanwhile, you're watching the boiling pot, like the water is rising and rising and rising until like it spills over, and then
you spill over.
Yeah. And calling the cops is just like, even if you already call the cops, which at this point in my life, like I will, I'm not getting...
Still though.
Yeah.
Shit, I feel like it takes the cops because the last time we had to call the cops, I feel like it took them 25, 30 minutes to get there.
Yeah.
We're right next to a hospital too.
Right.
That's crazy.
I mean, you could lie and say like
we had bouncers there though, but like if we had to wait for the cops,
some people have been like, "Oh, I thought he said he had a gun," and as soon as you say that, like the dispatcher will say like, "Oh, potential gun threat" or like gun violence, and then that's when you see like a freaking like fleet or force of red and blue like show up at your doorstep, which still has happened. Someone's threatened us with guns and whatnot, so that definitely goes down.
Dude, I had somebody. It was like, damn, I think this was St. Patrick's Day. All right, we're going to go into a story really fast. I got a story. You ready?
Story time.
Story time. All right, so I think this was St. Patrick's Day 1 year ago, 2 years ago. I don't remember. But,
side note, that's like an amateur hour night. Those all those big holidays.
Yeah, it was pretty busy. There's like the outside half the parking lot was doing their thing anyway.
When everyone decides to be Irish for a night.
Yeah, exactly. But I guess two dudes inside got into it, and it made their way outside, and I was leaving. I had just clocked out. I worked in the kitchen over there at this time. But anyway, I'm walking out to go to my car, and I see my manager jumping out of his car, running over to some guy with a whip. They got into it inside, and homeboy went outside to his car and brought back a whip.
Nice. Keep his sex life separate.
I guess. He thought he was Indiana Jones. He was
what the fuck? Yeah. He like left his like horse ranch or some shit.
Oh yeah.
That could like blind someone too. Those things are like it's all funny, but like they can rip your skin easily, like tear it open.
Why?
And hit you in the face and like
what
fuck your eyes up.
purpose does that even serve nowadays?
I don't know why.
Why do you have one in your car? You fucking Bear Grylls? No.
You a cowboy?
No. Either way, hey, a good time. That would have been a lot easier to handle if we had a bouncer.
Sir, please put down the whip.
Yeah.
Someone get your guy. He's got his whip out. What if a guy was just like he gets out and he starts lassoing, like he's throwing the lasso like in the air, like where's that? Who are you trying to?
They
like...
let loose a bunch of tigers. And they throw the dude a chair and he's like.
That reminds me. One time I pulled up to work, and it was Sunday football going on, like middle of the day, like 3 in the afternoon.
Yeah, that sucks.
And I shit you not, there's 2 horses tied up to a tree.
Yeah.
In front of the bar.
I remember that.
I'm like, when does this ever?
It was during a Browns game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When does this ever happen? And of course, as soon as I get out of my vehicle, I smell horse shit.
Yep.
And they've already like unloaded on the side of the road, like all over the grass, like all around the tree. I'm like, dude, it smells like a fucking like stable. Yeah.
And then I remember I worked in the kitchen, and I remember our manager walking by, and he was going like, "This table complained they couldn't find their server, and she's out there riding a fucking horse right now."
Oh yeah, yeah, they were letting people get on the horse and shit. Yeah, dude. All right, I'm gonna stop my job, stop what I'm doing right now, and go
get
out.
On a horse?
What if you watch your server walk up to the horse and like just donkey kick you, and you go flying? So funny. And like, yeah, I think my server is going to the ICU right now because they wanted to go.
You better leave him a good tip then.
Approach a horse from behind.
Dude, that might be like.
Why would you leave a good tip if you're not gonna get served? And your server is like.
Oh, that's kind of
just got kicked like 20 feet in the parking lot.
I'm like, I'll give that guy an extra $1. He looks like he needs it.
My tip would be, don't do that again. Yeah, you know, like when someone walks in, like they tell you something like, "Oh yeah, there's horses out there." Like, what the fuck you just what? What'd you just say? And like gotta like compute what you just processed in your brain. Like there are horses.
I remember
outside.
that day too. I remember like, well, I hated every day working in the kitchen. I always thought it never stopped, but especially whenever the Browns played on a Sunday, it was nasty. But I remember thinking to myself, I was like, damn, I wish I had time to go sit on a fucking horse right now.
Hopefully that person got fired. And they can go do horseback riding for a living or lessons.
No.
That reminds me. Can you get a DUI on a horse?
Yeah. Absolutely.
That'd be fucking hilarious.
Dude, you can get a DUI on a skateboard.
Damn. Really?
Yeah.
If anyone out there has gotten a DUI on an interesting
oh yeah.
Not a motor vehicle, but
motor vehicular.
I know you can get them on a bicycle, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sure like a Segway for if you're fucking that dumb.
Yeah. And I think on those, not a Segway.
If you're riding a horse.
Fucking. They call them hoverboards.
A unicycle? Yeah, I got you.
If you can ride a unicycle drunk.
And you're 3 sheets to the wind.
You know what? Full send, dude. Yeah. Give that man his keys.
How do you stop someone if they're completely trashed on a horse?
Give that man his keys,
dude.
Just let him drive a car.
If you're like that drunk, you have to like be like have the wherewithal to like pull up the reins and make the horse like come to a stop.
Yeah, I don't. A horse has a mind of its own, but I feel like you're operating something.
Or you're controlling it.
Whether you are.
You didn't just like find the horse
under the influence of drugs or alcohol or both.
DUI, riding a horse.
All drunk and high.
If anyone has a story like that, please comment and let us know.
That's a Florida man story somewhere that needs to happen if it hasn't already.
We'll have to like research that DUIs on a horse or some like asinine
horse
shit.
DUIs?
Yeah, I saw recently. You Google your birthday or whatever and like type in Florida man.
Florida man.
Yeah, I think mine was.
What's your? Hold on, let's do it.
Oh no, mine was like $1,000 in property damage or some shit. But I remember there was one of us had a man turns a jet ski into a motorcycle.
When's your birthday?
February 17th. Oh yeah, type in September 18th actually. It's not an arbitrary date, I swear.
I just think it's weird how you just changed birthdays randomly.
Yeah, I have 2 birthdays. I have an alter ego. We're going to get back to the bouncing subject at hand.
On this day in Florida man history, September 18th, man rides jet ski on highway.
I'll throw a picture of that.
He was seen riding a jet ski down the highway. If I could find a picture of it.
He put wheels on it though, right? Somehow he like turned into like a go-kart kind of thing.
Sure. You know, it doesn't really have pictures.
Damn.
I'll save this. When's your birthday? February 17th?
Yeah. Mine was like something with a sword or a guy like obviously threatening someone or doing some kind of damage, as we all do.
Yeah. Florida man causes $1,000 of property damage.
That's
Worth
lame.
of property damage trying to kill demons.
Oh yeah.
See the Monroe County Police Department. Wow, he looks like...
Bro, he's trying to.
Can we throw in pictures when we edit? Yeah, we
Yeah,
can.
for sure.
Yeah, we're throwing up this guy's picture. He
Can
looks
you blame
beautiful.
a guy for trying to kill off his demons though? They just
That face?
They just happen to take on the form of other human beings, aka your neighbors.
Well, I guess. All right, hold on. I want to do mine. I think I know what it is. Look, I've Googled it already. Damn, where'd it go? Why can't I read it? Florida man arrested after video shows him dragging woman's lifeless body.
Morbid.
Yeah, that's it. That's kind of fucky. The New York Post, you guys are trash.
So yeah, the bouncer deal.
Yeah. Bouncers and fighting.
Yeah, what is it with that? It's like airplane food. What's up with that?
What is up with that?
So yeah, once you like start working with bouncers, you realize like
Sweep the leg.
they're not at your disposal, but they come in handy when you need to order people to get out or leave that are unwilling to cooperate with your reasonable requests.
Yeah.
And usually once you bring in or call on a bouncer to help you or assist you, you have to just embrace the situation escalating, going downhill from there. Because 90% of the time I feel like the person's not going out without some choice words or putting up a fight or struggle. And if you're hoping for this, like, you'd be so lucky to have a smooth extraction of said problem or person before it escalates into something else, like more violent. So, or usually if you're lucky enough, like we were for a few years, we had decent bouncers at like the entrance and the back door, which is also an entrance.
It's always good when you have the same people too.
Yeah, like it's a good squad. Yeah, and they're all they have camaraderie and
exactly
on the same like page and whatnot.
And they're all cool with you too.
Yeah, and like you trust each other.
Yeah.
You're not gonna like worry about one being excessive. So, anyways, we had one guy. I think he still bounces to this day, but yeah, no, we're not gonna use any names for out of respect to them. But he was kind of guy that like big fighter, like not afraid to throw down or whatever with his size. 'Cause he's like built like a shit brick house, you know.
Yeah.
Is that normal to describe a male like that?
A shit brick house.
Yeah, like he's like, you know, like a big like fucking like immovable object.
You could say he's built like a brick house. I don't know about a shit brick house.
Just to emphasize the sturdiness, but
shit's sturdy.
Yeah, like you could run into him at full speed, and you're probably gonna like take on most of the damage to your own self.
A shit brick house.
Yeah, while they just stand there.
That's the name of the video, right?
But anyways,
shit brick house. Yeah. Put it in.
Definitely. So he was the kind of guy that like if you stepped up to him and pissed him off, and you're like you're in the wrong, and just like crossing multiple lines, he'd like warn you, be like, all right, man, you have like 3 seconds to leave or remove yourself, get away from me, or like step down and back off, whatever.
Oh yeah.
So he basically gives like 3 strikes, and usually with a drunk person or some like punk ass kid who just won't take no for an answer, kind of like poking the bear, right? This guy would give you 3 chances usually, like just to show you how reasonable he's being, like a cop would, you know. And I remember this one time this kid refused to like present an ID, or it was either present an ID or pay the cover charge, and he was acting stupid and like just ridiculous and being like, I don't gotta do this, I don't gotta do that, I don't gotta give you shit, blah blah blah. And the guy was like, we kept like going up to the guy's face while he was like denying his request to like produce either the cover charge fee or the ID. And he did it more than 3 times, but the guy said, dude, if you get in my face one more time, I'm gonna drop you. And this is like at the front door, like before like up the steps you get into the main entrance. Like this is like on the street, like before all this, before you even get to the steps. And the kid, again, like the fourth time, gets in his face and he's like, "F you, man!" And all of a sudden, like he puts up his hands, the punk, well, he's gonna square off, like they're gonna fucking throw hands and like box whatever. And all of a sudden, the big dude bouncer just like literally throws like a leg kick and sweeps both of his legs out. It was like a blink of an eye. And you'll
Like a
miss it.
judo, like a ninja leg kick.
Like a side leg kick. And
so he knew what he was doing.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
He definitely like kickboxed or something for a while, or has done it for a while.
Well, that's crazy.
He sweeps the kid's legs out from under him, and the kid just goes like feet up in the air, head like immediately,
like flops.
Yeah, just like turns.
You ever like, and you can hear it too when a body like slaps on the floor like that.
And he basically like went from like upright to fucking head on ground, feet up in the air because it happened so fast. And the kid's like stunned, and all of a sudden he's like, not crying, but like bitching and whining, like, "Oh man, I thought we were gonna box. Like that's why I put my hands up. I thought we were gonna like go at it and box." And then he's like still on the ground, just like he's stunned and like he doesn't know why he's like looking up like at everyone, and we're all just like looking at him like, "You sad, pathetic piece of shit." And then the bouncer's like, "I don't need to box you, bro." Like you're already on the ground.
Look at you, dude.
And then he's like, "But if you come up again, I'm gonna drop you." Like he said something like that. Like it was like cold, cool shit. Like the same thing's gonna happen to you if you try this again.
Like some real like Clint Eastwood, like on time. That was the perfect thing to say that moment type shit. Yeah.
He's like, "Do you feel lucky, punk?" But the kid got warned more than once, and
fucking paid for it.
Yes, sir. Don't try and take on bouncers; it will not end well for you.
I know that guy. He's a good guy.
And then there's
the
another
bouncer,
guy.
not the other guy.
Yeah. I'm sure the kid probably has reformed and found Jesus, and probably is a pastor somewhere.
Sure.
But
that's what he does.
Yeah. So then another time, this remember I was behind the bar this night, and there's another thing too. Like these bouncers, a lot of like most of them are gentle giants. It's like 50-50. You're either a gentle giant, or the other bouncers are like waiting for shit to pop off because they just want to take their frustration out on someone. And sometimes a punching bag won't do, so they rather do that on some punk ass kid. But the gentle giants are the ones that you don't want to provoke, because once their wrath comes out, like you're afraid, like it's not going back in the box. Like you've unleashed an uncontrollable force that's now gonna like wreak havoc. Like once they start seeing red, you know. So one of those stories is this kid was asking me about these like bar mats. We got these cool bar mats from like a liquor rep, you know, like you get them and you put them out around the bar or whatever to like promote their product. And this kid would not leave it alone how he wanted this like particular bar mat that was near the dishwasher or whatever. And I'm just like, "Nah, man, like they're not for sale." And he's like, "Oh, I'll give you like money." I'm like, "Nah, or I'll trade something." Like,
you
dude,
can't fucking buy it, bro.
Yeah, I'm just like,
Sorry.
dude, it's just not for sale. So then like 10-20 minutes later, I returned to like that area, and the bar mat's just gone. Yeah. And I'm just like, dude, that's fucking stupid. So we go up to him, "Hey, bro, just like get it back. Just like put it back on the bar. Like no harm, no foul. Like we told you no like 3 times, and you decided to take it upon yourself to take it off us."
Fucking stupid.
And then he's like, "I have no idea what you're talking about, bro. I don't even want it that bad. That's stupid that you're accusing me of just being like an asshole. Like you guys are accusing me of fucking stealing a bar mat. That's fucking like stupid and pathetic." I'm like, dude, you're the only one that was like obsessing
that's
over
the only
it,
reason
and now it's
right
gone.
now, bro.
So then
we're not stupid.
Yeah, so our bouncer guy was just like, he's like, "All right, let's go check the cameras." Like just really cool hand Luke, like chill as fuck. And we go back to like that time frame on the security cameras up in the back office. And sure as shit, like 8:01 or 8:05, like the kid just like looks both ways and just like sweeps it and like puts it in his like button-up shirt and like buttons his shirt up. Like did it really fucking fast. It's kind of creepy how like proficient he was. And we go back out there and the kid's still there. And literally the bouncer guy is like, "I know you motherfucking lying, bro. We fucking saw you on camera." And all of a sudden the guy's like puts his hands up, whatever. He's like, "Oh man, I don't know what you're talking about." And all of a sudden like the bouncer like grabs his hands and puts him in this like headlock, like chokehold. And he's like, "Give me the fucking mat, bro." And he's just like, we're like, "Whoa, dude." I was like,
that's kind of.
I'm like, "Bro, it's just a bar mat. Like we can get another one. It's okay. Like we don't have to take it there." And he's like, "You're gonna fucking give me right now."
Personal.
Yeah, no, I guess because we were being lied to and like treated like we were idiots, which that's another like don't.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, like don't make it something more than it is, because then you're gonna piss off like who knows.
So
yeah, he's basically like choking him. Like maybe he thought it was gonna shake out of him. Like that's why he's like kind of just like rattling him. But the dude's like, "All right, if you get off me, I'll go to my car and get it." And he's like, "Bro, if you don't come back from the car with it, like we're gonna chase you down." I'm like, "Dude, I'm not doing I'm not threatening anyone or getting in like any further nonsense for a fucking bar mat."
Bro.
But yeah,
that guy could like press charges.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
It's kind of weird.
I always wondered like, at what point do we become the aggressor? And like, I know which point that is, but yeah, we just never got in trouble for it because these guys are like afraid for their lives now. And they're not gonna like. I mean, some do,
Yeah.
but he comes back with the freaking the bar mat and puts it
With the
down.
freaking
Yeah, and then we're like, was that so hard? Was that worth like all that? And he's like, F you guys, like I don't even effing like this place. We're like, well, he liked it enough to steal that and come in here. And
Yeah.
then the third,
That's
another time, gentle giant guy. This is a different person, but I've only seen this guy yell or raise his voice once in my life working in this industry. And there was this one night, these like it was two girls, one guy, out of
ooh.
towners, from New York, and of course they had like their whole like New York accent, and like they all sound like wise guys, even the girls. I'm like, you guys
Like
are,
fucking wise guys.
yeah, and the bar we were done for the night. It's 2 a.m. They're still finishing their drinks. They got there late, like a little bit past last call. You give them the benefit of the doubt, give them a drink when it's already past last call, and they're like, oh yeah, yeah, and they just don't leave, right? Like they're just
Yeah.
refusing to
Yeah.
fucking take a hint and go
Those
home.
guys.
Yeah, and then like, oh, we just got our drinks. I'm like, yeah, dude, but it's like 2:30 now. We've been closed, and so we said that, and then it goes into well, in New York, we don't go home till like fucking 5:30 or 6 in the morning when the bar's closed, and then
Cool, bro.
yeah,
The
and
bar's
then
already closed.
and so our big guy, who's like, dude, he's like the
Bro.
Incredible Hulk size, like not the new one, but like
Fuck.
the 70s 80s Hulk. I don't remember which actor that was, but
Lou Ferrigno.
yeah, bro, so, like it's like his fucking twin brother, that kind of guy, and he's kind of like,
Yeah.
guys, like we've been asking you to leave for like the past half hour, and you're still sitting here, and he's like, and they keep going back to like, well, up in New York, and all of a sudden he's like, he like puts his hands up, and he's like, that's it, I don't care about fucking New York, we're not in New York, and then all of a sudden he goes, get the fuck out, like he sticks his arms out like arm bar, and like kind of closed in enough, and he starts dragging them backwards because like he's going forward towards the door,
It's
and
funny.
they're holding onto his arms because they're like basically like, holding onto like tree branches, and they're like, oh, stop, like fuck you, and he's like, I told you to get the fuck out, and he's like dragging them with him as he's just like walking like this whatever, and then he uses their bodies, bulldozes past the entrance door, and then goes through the patio front entrance and drops them out down the steps onto the road,
That's
like onto the street.
that's hilarious.
And it is all three of them. They're like,
Did he call him a fucking cab too?
yeah, right. No, so it's the three of them. I remember like they're like kind of like sitting on top of each other, like a pile of kids, like a trio, and they're on their asses looking up at. I remember it was like wet outside too. It was like just rained or whatever. It's like
Good.
they're sitting on the dirty, wet street, and they're looking up at him like, "Fuck you, fuck this," blah, blah, blah. And he's like, "I told you guys like for a half hour to get the fuck out of here," and they're like threatening him and shit. And I'm like, dude, like you guys are you're already out. Just go home. Like
Yeah, just
Yeah.
fucking.
and they stayed there for like 10 minutes. I guess maybe they're trying to like make a scene or whatever. Like he assaulted us, but like there was no one around. It was really just them and the big man. And I'm watching this because I'm waiting for him to come back in and lock the door.
Thank God for people like that.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So yeah, it's like, dude, just get a bouncer to remove the problem from the equation, and it all works out. But he walks back
Especially after
inside.
you've like
Yeah.
already asked them.
Yeah, and like once you're past the point of reasoning, it's like, dude, all right, conversation is over.
Yup.
It's time for like the
Cut the shit.
authority to like shut it down and remove you. And yeah, once the bouncer comes in, it's like the conversation part is out the window. Like you're done.
That's so funny.
The chance to reason has been exhausted.
It's like those I love the bouncers at the place next door.
Oh
As soon
yeah.
as it's last call, as soon as it hits 2 a.m., they're like swarming. They're like, get the fuck out.
Yeah.
Which like they have to be though, because otherwise people will be like that.
I've seen one guy like rip the bar stool from out under the guy, and like, well, you don't need that anymore, and like pulls it out. And the guy's like,
Yeah.
oh, and like catches the bar almost like.
No,
eats
they
shit.
do
Yeah.
that.
And it's like, there's your sign, dude.
Yeah. The key is just to be friends with them. They won't be a dick to you, but they'll still kick you out.
Yeah.
I do remember one time that like I was super drunk, but I had to pee so bad, and they were kicking people out. They were kicking the people out who like wouldn't leave.
Right. Yeah.
And I had to pee so bad, so I walked back in there, and he's like, "You gotta go." And I said, "Bro, I'm gonna piss my pants." And he said, "I'm sorry." And I was like, "What?"
There's a bush outside, man.
I went and no, there's a wall outside somewhere.
Yeah. Oh, and this is the one time I tried to break. Like, this is the whole thing. I stopped trying to break up fights to like be the bigger person or voice
no,
of reason.
I just step away now. I'm
Yeah.
like, nope.
Because the one time I
No,
did
thank
try,
you.
I was like in the back room, like cleaning up like a group that just left or whatever, and I'm like doing something in the back, and all of a sudden, one kid comes sprinting out and like flying out the back door exit or whatever, and then this other kid comes chasing after him. I'm like, oh shit! It looked like the kid following him was gonna murder the kid that just ran out,
Oh wow.
and they're like these two like scrawny little punk ass kids, and I'm like, bro, like what's gonna happen if he gets his hands on him? So I just like run. I try to like cut him off or whatever. So I step in like really fast. I fucking slip, and I slip into him like full speed. And then he goes flying backwards, and there's those like old school pool tables that are like all metal,
Yeah.
like the fucking hard chunky ones.
Oh yeah.
I go flying into him. Like I basically like slip. It was like slip and slide, but I slipped and like tackled him and took his legs out with my own legs as I'm like going down too. And his fucking head goes flying into the
pool
yeah.
table?
And he kind
Did
of
you
just
fucking kill him?
no, but he like stops for a second, and he's kind of just like rubbing his head like ow, like you motherfucker. And I'm like, bro, I'm so sorry, man, but I don't know what's going on, what you just tried to do, or what's happening. And then I come
Oh,
to
you
find,
couldn't have played it off like, oh, I didn't see you coming.
yeah, I don't know. I basically like wrapped up and like tackled him, but slipped in like
Oh.
slid both of us into the fucking pool table, but
Damn.
used his body as a buffer and his head as a fucking like cushion or a shield. But he said he was fine, but I'm like, yeah, it's not. You're gonna have a fucking softball size knot in your head. But anyways, I find out that kid was trying to chase out the other kid because he literally got in the kid I tackled. He got in his face and they yelled like "F you, I'm F your girl," and
Yeah.
I don't give
okay.
like he basically
stupid
like
shit.
yeah he basically insulted him and said all this like retarded fuck shit or whatever. And then the kid trying to defend his girl's honor tried to chase that kid out.
Oh, bro, you
And
stopped the wrong guy.
Yeah, basically, long story short, I fucking tackled the one kid who was trying to do the right thing and protect his girl. So I body slammed him into a pool table, almost like break his fucking head.
You're
While the other kid, this little degenerate, says his shit and run. It's almost like
what
I
do
was
they call
helping.
that? You're an associate.
Yeah, like I was helping the piece of shit get away,
Guilty by
and I'm like,
association.
oh man. Yeah, no, I'm
you
like, dude.
You try to be nice, and then
Yeah.
you end up. That's so fucking stupid.
It's like, let me help you.
Stop, citizen.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's like RoboCop gone like completely insane.
Halt,
Yeah.
citizen.
I let the criminal.
No running in the
yeah.
halls, bitch.
I let the one scumbag
Smack
get
your
away.
head against
Yeah.
against the pool table.
I remember the kid that got away though. He was like so nerdy. He had like glasses and like had a hoodie on. It's just like
That's
must
so
like he was like some
funny.
gangster. Yeah, but I helped him out unknowingly. One time he tried to like, was it no good deed goes unpunished? Fucking hate that saying. But yeah, like like you realize you're like, so what happened here? Who was that? And then it's like, oh,
This guy just stepped out in front of me.
yeah.
Yeah.
walk it off.
Yeah, bro.
So that like makes me points to my like led me to my realization like you have no idea what's going on in the situation, like that's why you let other people handle it.
Oh
Right?
yeah,
If you
bro.
see shit going
Especially
down,
yeah.
That's why it's gotta be so hard for like police officers. Like they arrive at a situation or a scene, you have no idea who's doing what or who the good guy is, who the bad guy is. Like you literally you're in the dark. You don't know what's going on, and you can have so and so saying something and so and so saying this, but it's like the moment you step in, you could be completely in the wrong. Like
Oh yeah.
like me trying to help someone out,
Exactly,
but
you
I
never
made
know.
it worse. Yeah.
That's so funny.
So it's
You're just trying to help, and you fucked the wrong guy over.
they're ridiculous.
That's hilarious. And you almost fucking kill him.
Yeah, I know. I was like, I gotta go. I don't get paid enough for this.
They really don't.
Oh, and of course that happened on a slow night. Like so, every night that there are bouncers, nothing happens. But on nights where there are none, like a Monday or a Tuesday evening, I swear, like more times than not, the slow nights where it's like a ghost town is like just mayhem happens out of nowhere.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like they somehow know or have a sense that there's no protection, there's no safety net, all bets are off. We can go buck wild, ape shit
Fucking ape
crazy.
shit, yeah.
And the cops won't be here for like another 10 minutes, so let's just fucking like get after it. Like let's have a fucking throwdown in the middle of the dining room or whatever. But then the nights when there are bouncers there, it is like peaceful as can be. Like
It is though.
yeah, it's quiet in there. It's nothing's going on. It's like, dude. And then like I swear, like so you have like bouncers for like
That is true.
3 weeks out of the month, and then like the last week of the month, all hell breaks loose when the bouncer like is off for that one shift. I'm like, dude, it's literally like Murphy's Law, or like if they're not there, they know it and they'll show
Yeah.
up and like raise hell.
If you build it, they'll come.
And yeah,
right?
then they'll right. And then or if you don't bring them, they'll be there. And then of course the bouncer's always like, man, it's so quiet. Like, why do you guys even need me? I'm like, bro, when you aren't here, and like you just have to take my like having like beer pong night, like total fucking rookie amateur hour. Yeah.
Gets to be a little rowdy, dude. I was at a bar in the mountains one time. This was in California, in the Californian mountains, and I was in Big Bear. Have you ever heard of Big Bear?
No.
Oh, I went to a bar in Big Bear. I was underage, but my friend, who was of age and also from Florida, he was me. It was me, him, and our other friend. Our other friend was also of age. I was like 20 and they were 21. That's what I mean. And but we were still getting into bars because your military ID has your birthday on it. So my friend who's from Florida got into the bar with his military ID and he gave me his driver's license. And I have a Florida tattoo, and the people were like, "Oh, you're from Florida? Cool." So it kind of like proved it more. They would like not look at the picture. Anyway, we got into bars like that, and we were taking shots, and all of a sudden, out of the corner, like the bouncer's just running past us. This is like, this dude should not be bouncing. They just put like a whale. I mean, like, no offense to overweight people, but they just put like a big boy in front of the door, and like this couple of girls is fighting over in the corner, like really like swinging on each other, and the bouncer comes over and he just starts swinging on the girls. And then it's crazy. He swings on the girls, and then
shows violence.
Yeah, no, one of the other bartenders like comes
sex.
and like tries to help break them up, and then their friends come and break them up, and I'm like, was that the right thing to do, bro? Are you really a bouncer? Or are you just he's
like
just
me say a bouncer would make things worse, and the bartender has.
And we're all just like watching this in awe. Like, what's National Geographic happening over here?
I mean, that happens too. Like, I've seen that happen more times than not, where the bartender will point out who the problem is, and they get the wrong person. You're like, no, other red shirt, other guy with the hair, like the face and the arms, like
homeboy
and
was
like,
just
they're holding one guy, like him, like no, other guy, and then like, he's around the door, he's gone now.
Bro, this guy just chose. He was like, what? Fight, kill them all.
I'm not sure who we're talking about, but I'm gonna make sure I get them all, just so the whole playing field is leveled.
Bro, is that me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Turn off your phones before we start, bro. I swear to God, it was off.
That's the person in the movie theater thought too.
Yep.
But yeah, it's so stupid. Like you're trying to like playing like Russian roulette. Like, no, this guy, that guy, they're gone. Whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
And the bouncer's like, why am I here?
That
I don't know.
Why so funny.
Yeah. So yeah, that pretty much does it for this episode.
Bouncers are.
He's got people blowing his phone up, so he's got places to be.
Bro, I got people calling after this podcast. We're famous now.
Their ears must be burning.
Yep.
I gotta do my other podcast. What?
No.
But yeah, thanks for tuning in for episode 6.
Tuning in.
Please like comment,
follow on everything that we have.
Share.
Instagram, YouTube, Facebook.
Tell all your sorority sisters to check us out.
Damn it.
If you're into that type of thing, I don't know.
Shout out to Ole Miss Pi Beta Phi.
Oh, Jesus. And UCF too, apparently.
Oh, damn. All right.
I don't know.
Well, that's all I got.
Same. Till next time. Steve.
I'm Rogers.
This is Florida Chronicles.